This is Tony from Killing Grace. You're watching Breaking Metal.
Welcome back to Breaking Metal, man. Tonight we have Barry and Chris from the band. Look what I did! Ladies and gentlemen, this is Barry, this is Chris. They're from the band Look What I Did. They have just made available for pre-order their new and fourth album, as far as I know. Fourth?
Is that right, Chris?
Fourth? Yeah, fourth. It's called Zanzibar 2, Analog Prison, I'm sorry, 3, Analog Prison. It's a rock opera LP, and we're going to ask them how we pre-order that here in a little bit. But before we get into that, the band was formed in about 2001, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. My question is, about 2003, you had your first album, My First Time. How did that come about, and how was that received?
Well, the way it came about, basically we had been recording demos, it's kind of in a sketchy part of town, the sketchy news.
We were actually in the Marathon building back when it was the blown up Marathon building.
Yeah,
nothing inside of it, and it was condemned, and I'm not sure it was legal what we were even doing, so.
Yeah,
that's how that worked out.
And I took these kids. I'm like, yeah, we ain't doing this. I said, so I'm going to make this record, and we're going to make it. We had limited resources, so we're going to make it sound like we have limited resources. Everything is recorded in closets, in houses, in practice spaces. So that's why that's why it sounds that way. So and I produced it myself. I funded most of it myself.
Right.
They helped pay for it too.
Right.
And then it was received surprisingly well, particularly by the PRP and things like that.
All these internet websites started covering that record, and I think record labels wanted us to make it over again, but we didn't want to do that.
No, that's no good.
And we put one cubit full of arrows from that record.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I remember that. Let me ask you about 2005's Minutemen for the moment. That's when I first discovered you guys, and when I say discovered, I had actually read a bunch of articles in the Nashville scene, and they were glowing. They were incredible, raving about you. So I got to catch a Mercy Lounge show, and the whole band, amazing. As a singer, I focused a lot on you, and you were kind of next level. You were just like, man, check this out. You were so good, and the songs were so good, and instantly became a fan. I love that piece of work, Minutemen for the moment. Can you tell me a little bit about how that came about?
Basically, we were in LA, we were playing shows, we had like a big following in LA at the time. I guess we may still, we haven't been there in a minute. But like, we had all these record labels beating down our door. We finally get a deal going. We reserve as much, I guess, intellectual control over it as we possibly can. Right. And we just went out of our way to make it the densest music with the most stuff going on and the most different things at once, which is not really commercially acceptable. We knew going in that wasn't our plan.
Right.
But we put it out on Combat Records. Everybody remembers that old
Combat Records?
Way back in the day.
Yeah, I sure do. Yeah.
Megadeth's first record. And blah, blah, blah. It was really like Koch.
Yeah.
This big corporate entity purchased Combat.
Right.
The guy who originally started was working it. He had caught a terminal illness during the middle of our record. So there's a train wreck of stuff going on. But yeah, it was just like we worked really hard on that record in a short amount of time.
Right.
That was a ton of work.
Right.
And it was, in my opinion, it was a Barry record because the music is really good.
Yes.
I really like it. But if you listen to the music without Barry on it, it's not my favorite because we kind of chunk together a whole lot of stuff to tell you how good he is as a singer.
Right.
If you listen to it without him, you can kind of hear we just kind of bumped a whole bunch of stuff.
And I see what you're saying. That's interesting.
Sometimes heavier music happens that way.
Yeah, it does.
So it's okay.
Yeah.
But it was, like Voivod would do stuff like
Voivod, yeah, a great
like
example.
nothing face.
Right, right.
So it's very much like that. It's
Yeah.
not really something you listen to without him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
mostly him. But me and him kind of worked on the vocals,
Right.
vocal parts together as
Right.
well, and then but it was very 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 focused as well and driven.
It's absolutely one of my favorite works. It sounds frantic and manic, and there's an urgency about it.
Anxiety, maybe? Is that the
Yeah,
word?
maybe that too. It's incredible.
Something funny about when we toured on that record, at the time metal was getting real popular, like particularly sort of the screamy, really underground metal, And we do the heaviest of all heavy. We do grind, we do everything
Right,
for
right.
like a second or two.
Right.
But like, when we would go on tours mainly with death metal bands for majority of our tours. Like we went on tours like Animosity and Ion Disney. I mean, they weren't all death metal.
Right.
Some were, if we want to get technical about it and be all, it was, deathcore from this one band, or, whatever it is. But just assuming that we're all adults and it's all in the metal category, we don't really give a damn about
We
what the
know.
little
Yeah,
terms are.
yeah, it really does.
It'd be bands like those type of bands. We toured with Immure and
Wow.
Life Ruiner and all these kind of
Wow.
bands. It was like we're playing in the hardcore and the death metal scene. The minute I start singing, because that's what I love to do. When I hear some really heavy music, I want to sing over that.
Yeah.
I'd rather scream over some quiet music.
Right.
More disruptive.
I mean, it is more
Like,
disruptive.
these little metal kids, you start singing, they be 14, they're like, is this emo now?
Right, right.
What am I supposed to do? Is
What
this
am I
emo?
supposed to do?
I shouldn't like it or should I like it? And they look at their friends and they're like, I don't know what they're supposed to do.
Atlas Drug. And tell me a little about that.
Well, yeah, that one that was after we moved back to Nashville. We all got a house and
Right on.
And we just worked on it after work. We'd
Yeah.
come home and we got to have the same producer from that one.
Right.
That one we made a conscious effort to make it a little more of a modern rock record because the band, it was a different band. I had switched to guitar. I was the bass player for the first two records,
Right.
but then I had to switch to guitar, and we got a new bass player and a new drummer.
Wow. Wow.
So a good portion of how we even made music and the way we sounded was just changed.
Yeah.
So we just had to make whatever music we could with what we all sounded like. With
Yeah.
me as a guitarist, because
Right.
I'm more of a metal bass player and a rock and a prog guitar player.
I saw the bass history in the band when I was reading. I found that interesting.
Yeah.
Chris didn't even play guitar a few years ago. Really.
Wow.
Yeah.
We were just
You
like,
made up for
Chris
a lot
can
of
play,
those
learn
that
playing
you're
instrument
really good.
immediately. So just switch to guitar and we'll find a bass player.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like, I don't know, we just consciously said we wanted to make something that was different because we couldn't repeat that one. And I myself was in the mood for a rock record. We had so many good rock chops. I mean, our guitar player had a lot of great riffs
Right.
that we eventually added some stuff to and made great songs out
Okay.
of. And I don't know, we just went with it, with whatever came natural to us.
Sure.
I went for a different tone. As opposed to all metal, I went for more of a Ty Tabor kind of
Right.
exact tone, and then Skeet stuck to the the heavier stuff. So,
Right.
we just wanted to make a very good, solid rock record that people could get into.
Right. Barry, I want to set the record straight for some fans. Something if they look anywhere in cyber fucking hell, they can't find you don't see a lot of the awards. I'm wondering, first of all, I've got a question. Are y'all aware that y'all have won like a shitload of awards around here and you're one of the most highly acclaimed bands in the scene? Like all of us know who you are and have mad respect for you. Are you aware of that? I was just
Not really.
I am not. It wasn't that way for a long time.
Well, it is. It's not. Well, it's been a hot minute, man. I'm watching. Let me tell you, you won all these awards. You don't talk about it. You don't promote that. You just say we're working on this. We're giving. Your live shows are unbelievable. But I wanted to say how much a lot of us here on the scene respect you for not going. Look at us. It's more like, look what I did on the music. Appreciate that.
Well,
And that makes you guys not
We
douchebags.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
we thank you.
You guys are like anti-douchebags, and we appreciate that.
Well,
You guys are cool as fuck.
Give us a couple years, then we're good.
You get your next big record, it's like,
Douchebag time.
yeah.
Earned it.
Have him thrown out, please. That guy.
Y'all ain't seen nothing.
It's cool the way you guys engage with the fans too. I mean,
Yes.
obviously I've been a fan for the last couple of years since I discovered the band, being new to Tennessee. But I like some of the stuff you guys do. There'll be, every now and then in my news feed, there'll be like a 20 or 30-second snippet maybe of you guys in a rehearsal space, maybe just throwing together some new stuff or just wanting to showcase something that you're working on or whatever, which is really cool.
We've had a religious sort of dedication to the, I guess, sort of punk rock ideals and ethics, and we've really stuck with them forever. And we have actually stared down the face of some sellout opportunities with a lot of money and things. And it was, but I mean, on the other hand, it's a lot of money in like in music land, but it's not a lot of money in any other job land. So it's not like you're selling your self-respect away for the kind of money that they're talking about. Just really wasn't attractive though.
Exactly.
You know, if they were saying we'll give you $400 zillion, you can actually buy a country to go live in and shame after all this is over.
Right.
Then yeah, but otherwise when they ask you to dress like a clown or whatever they're going to do, and you're going to be stuck doing it because you signed a contract that they can control your image.
Yeah.
There you are in front of everyone.
Wasn't that something they were some of the labels wanting us to?
There wasn't a specific direction that we should wear clown makeup, but they had done it to other bands, so you didn't know what was going to happen to you. You know?
And also, I noticed, kind of expanding on the Atlas Drug thing, I mean, it obviously sounds a lot like Atlas Shrugged, so I'm wondering how Ayn Rand maybe fits into the picture. And something I lifted from your Facebook profile, talking about Barry with your approach to the vocals, bringing in political theory, educational background, libertarian beliefs. You talk about the role that plays in the music.
There's always been like a thread of, like I have certain fundamental beliefs I've always had, and they've leaked out throughout, you know, you can see them in songs like Benevolsaurus Lex on Minuteman for the Moment. Minuteman for the Moment, even though it's about counterculture and punk rock, it's got a lot of the sort of Revolutionary War iconography and stuff before that was really commonly used. There was like things like, we had a song talking negatively about the Federal Reserve on Alice Drug, but that was, you know, we wrote it in like 2008 or 6 maybe. It was a really old song. So like we've covered a lot of those things and been outspoken on things at certain times. Like Fox Eats TV Ishmael sort of has like a Middle East kind of, I'm not digging into the details, but it's got some viewpoints in there. But yeah, that's especially not right now.
Yeah.
But that's a common thread.
And you're writing for BenSwan.com right now as well?
Yes.
Wow.
So I do my politicking writing. It's more like news journalism, to be honest.
Yeah, the Ayn Rand thing, it was, I think it's just a combination, like it's just kind of a cool name.
Yeah.
But also, there's a bit of it, you know, that like, you know, Barry has kind of libertarian leanings. I'm a little more anti-idealist myself, but I'm sympathetic to libertarian views, but I'm not all on board, but I get it. Yeah. There's a little bit of confusion with libertarianism, and Ayn Rand is not really the same. And Ayn Rand goes a little wacky. She's fun sometimes.
Right.
Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But you know, it was really just kind of a neat name, and it did kind of ring true. And, you know, she does have some
Interesting thing, yeah.
But take the good and just leave.
It is it wasn't a statement, anything about Ayn Rand, but it was a reference to that title.
There,
Effectively is what he's trying to say.
I wasn't there, but huge 3-page thing on the last show ever at the Muse, and
I wrote a 3-page thing on it.
yeah, Nashville Sing. It was just pictures and everything, and Pool Halls had a lot to say in
I
that.
never hear about this stuff.
Yeah, that's why I had to ask you, were you aware of any of this?
No idea.
Because every time I talk to you, I got a feeling you have no idea.
We haven't been aware of this stuff since for however long we've been around.
Never.
Wow.
Like, I mean, all this is just a labor of love.
You guys are,
And
that's
ego.
very organic, so that rocks. But y'all played the last Muse show, correct?
Yeah, we were the last official. Well, I think there was one more band after.
We were the last band to ever play the Muse.
Right. That's amazing. How'd that show go?
It was fantastic.
Right on.
You get a crowd to go crazy when it's the last chance they can ever go crazy and the building going crazy and it's like, okay, that was not
With
hard.
the
That didn't
electrical
take, like, a
system
lot of
and
work.
all that stuff going at the Muse and the standing in the water. Yeah.
That's some bullshit. Is what that is.
That was some bullshit. Before we go to break, now you have released available for pre-order Zanzibar 3 Analog Prison. Tell everybody how they can pre-order it, how they can get their hands on it.
So say we all records.bandcamp.com. I don't know if there's a more easier way to say that right now because it's kind of that pre-ordery phase where stuff changes. But yeah, so say we all records.bandcamp.com. I'm thinking that's correct. Also, facebook.com/look what I did. You can get that information more correctly.
All right, cool. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we get back, we're going to do our segment 4 Bullets for Your Bio. We're going to keep talking to the guys from Look What I Did on Breaking Metal! Yeah. Welcome back to Breaking Metal. We're here with the band Look What I Did! And we have Barry and Chris from Look What I Did. Really, really great guys. We're going to do our segment now called 4 Bullets for Your Bio. And I'm going to go up first, and I want to ask you guys, what's your band's best Spinal Tap moment?
There's so many Spinal Tap moments that it's hard to encapsulate them all. One that sticks out right this second is we were on a very early tour, like one of our very first tours. We were playing in El Paso. We never played in El Paso or been to El Paso before. We were about 1 or 2 feet from Juarez, where the bar was. And there was a really, really good playoff game or something going on that night, football game. And it was a sports bar, and like the problem was it was one of them shows you book because you got to get somewhere on the other end of the show, but you knew it wasn't going to be that good. But it turns out we drew maybe like 10 people from Mexico who came from Mexico, so we had to really take it seriously. But the problem was there was about 45 people watching the game kind of across the middle of it. And at some points the game was so badass that we were watching the game and people were set. And to make it worse, there's this doo-doo type of disease that was spreading through both of the bands on the tour. Everybody was shitting themselves all the time. And Miles, our drummer at the time then, who now, or he played with Kelly Clarkson and Paramore later, was vomiting profusely into a bucket.
Wow.
The entire show.
Between songs.
Wow. Wow.
He was just literally throwing up over and over. He was just having a full-blown throw-up, disease and playing through it.
Well, I have that you guys been influenced by bands like King's X, Dead Kennedys, Faith No More, Meshuggah, the Pixies, Dillinger Escape Plan, Black Flag, and so on. But speak for yourselves. What can you say as far as influences on you, and maybe who you've really been inspired by?
Well, yeah, that kind of, I was into Faith No More and King's X growing up, and a cousin of mine got me into the Dead Kennedys, and I'm also a big fan of like XTC, like early stuff, like when they mixed like music with stuff that wasn't even music at all.
Right.
I like a lot of the early 80s kind of new wave, punk wave kind of stuff. But as a whole, the band was also, Meshuggah was a big influence on the other guys. Our guitar player Skeet is really into Guided by Voices, and he got all of us into it.
Sure.
But just a lot of different things. Just anything with a lot of energy, so much that your eyeballs are just going to pop out. Yeah. Lots of melody, lots of harmonies. Adrenaline and that good feeling of melody is all we need. And that's what we need.
Yeah. What about you, Barry?
I'm like a 90s kid, you know what I'm saying? I like my Nirvana and all that kind of stuff, Jane's Addiction, all
Jane's
that.
Addiction,
Growing
yes.
up, Nine
Yes.
Inch Nails,
Yes.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, Faith No More, etc. And then as I got a little further down the road, I started getting into hardcore and extreme metal and funk. I love funk and jazz and avant-garde music, and I like pop, and I like Elton John, and I like Prince the most. That's my favorite. Prince.
He's a badass, actually.
It's a bad motherfucker. I always want to Look What I Did to be like the underground, all the underground shit in a potpourri kind of thing.
Yeah.
And just like modernize and like turn into a punk band.
How about that?
You know what I'm saying?
How about that? Yeah, dude. What was your best show ever? The one where you still to this day go, remember that night? That just happened. What was that show? Y'all played a lot of shows, so I just threw you a big curve.
I think for me, there's been several good ones, but the one that stands out was our return show to Nashville.
Yeah.
After we got our deal and we came on tour, we came back the first round at the Muse.
Right.
I mean, it was wall to wall kids in sweat and body,
Yeah.
people and just in chaos.
Yeah.
And everybody was thrilled to be there.
Sure.
I was thrilled to be there.
Yeah.
You know, it just. It was really cool. We've rarely had a show like that, but you know they used to give us great. All the kids in Canoga Park in LA used to give us fantastic shows.
Sure.
The kids here in Nashville were still giving us incredible shows.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah.
I'd say my favorite show that I didn't think was going to be that good is we played this one show in the Knitting Factory in New York City, and I was in a real bad mood because I hate New York City in the first place.
I
No
do
offense to
too.
New York City
I do
people.
too. No
There's
offense.
too many y'all motherfuckers all at once on top of everybody talking too much.
And you have the
it's really
stinkiest.
rude.
You have the stinkiest city in the world. Every time I go there,
Yes.
I was like, "Good God,
Everywhere.
Febreze your fucking city, man."
I like New York, but y'all.
Sorry, New York. But sorry to
Me and Harry don't though. Let's go on record. We don't like your city.
But anyway, this cop tells me that I can't park in the loading zone because I'm not a loading vehicle. But we had to go through the commercial loading vehicle dock, and I was loading through the fucking venue and this is a knitting factory in the middle of the Bowery, so there's a million cars every damn where. And the cop, I'm just so mad at the cop. I'm like, I can't punch the cop, but he was like mocking me and the idea that I would think that I could use a loading zone to load and all this. And then I go to the damn Popeye's chicken, and the guy's just like so rude that I thought I should fight him. Like I didn't.
They make you
But
feel
around
like
here, people would fight.
Right.
With that kind of
Right.
language.
Right.
And so I walk right on stage, and the first thing came to mind is like the whole place is packed. We're on tour with some. I think that was Human Abstract Folly.
And
Drop Dead Gorgeous.
So, yeah.
There's like 400 people. It's a knitting factory or something. It's packed back to the front, and I was so mad. I didn't give a shit at that point anymore whether we made any money on merch or anything. I just come out and I was like, "You people are the rudest fucking people in the whole world." And they just exploded in cheers.
Because they know. They're like, "Yes, we are. We are total assholes."
My bad mood was gone.
Right.
I was like, "Whoa, I can't fucking lose now." These folks.
the crowds in New York always treat us
They're awesome.
Yeah, the crowds.
New York crowds
fucking
are
phenomenal.
awesome.
Yeah.
Outside the venue, I will kill y'all motherfuckers. I will.
Oh my lord. That is great. That is great.
Well, there's probably so many different things that you guys could say about this, but what's unique about Look What I Did? What sets you guys apart, or what could somebody expect the first time hearing Look What I Did?
Our goal is to try to be unique, which means you're probably going to be disappointed because it won't be familiar to you when you first hear Look What I Did.
It's a hard pill to swallow. It was sometimes a hard pill for us to swallow. And in all honesty, like when Minuteman for the Moment came out, I was warning people like, I don't know what y'all gonna think about this stuff. Because what we did was we put together super heavy music with stuff that was damn near impossible to write lyrics over.
He nailed
Fun
it.
Boy
Yeah.
here nails it.
Nails it. Yeah.
And you're putting harmonies and melodies mixing together with
Dissonance.
Yeah.
dissonance is kind of like jazz chords,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not really. And then we just kind of make up our own shit and then just make
Kids love jazz chords.
yeah. So I don't know. A lot of people, we don't like to do things that are expected, and most likely we're not going to do anything expected the next go round. So
Right,
just
right.
be
Be
prepared.
ready not to be expecting
Right.
and things.
Well, that's going to lead me to your my last question. Zanzibar 3. What should people expect from it? I mean, give me a little bit of taste of what are we going to get with this? Because I mean, I love all your works. Like I said, Minuteman was my favorite. I just loved something unsettled about it. It was a great work. What's the new stuff? What can we expect?
The new stuff is it's a little. It's crafted towards. It's just a kind of a theater of the absurd. Rock opera.
Yeah.
For some reason or another, we decided we would do
Make a rock opera.
We could do rock, right? So we
Yeah.
just did it our style. So
Yeah.
the music itself is more tailored for that. You can't really do a rock opera with all
Right.
day long and you'll lose it.
Right.
So you know, it's kind of tailored to have some dynamics to it, and you know,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of Barry on it. So.
A lot of Barry. Yeah.
There's a great
Sing the whole time.
great YouTube videos come out of this already as well. Sebastian's Analog Prisons
Yeah,
out there. Anybody
yeah.
that wants to see
I
that?
watched that today. Good
Fucking
stuff.
excellent
It is
work.
good. Yes.
And you guys just recently had like a, what would you call it, a call for extras or something for something else that may be coming up pretty soon?
Yeah, we did some music videos. Skeet and Joey Fuller have been music videoing them, and we did it on a boat the other day. There was a piracy going on. There's pirates.
Wow. Look at Chris. He's like, I don't know what to say to that. I'm in the band.
That's right, there's some piracy going on.
Zanzibar 3 has the storyline to it. It started as a joke, but it got really detailed and it's extremely intense. So
Right.
pay attention
Okay.
if you want to. There's like a whole lot of, there's like a lake and there's these 3 groups fighting for control over the lake, and one of them wants access to the water rights in the lake, and it's just got this, there's a whole court system in one of the songs. It's just
Wow.
really deep.
It's straight up art rock, really. I mean, it's our version of art rock. It's not going to be heavier. I mean, it's got heavy moments, but you know, it's more geared towards that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Barry and Chris, this has been a huge honor, and to be able to
Yes.
get you guys here,
Thank you.
seriously, is a big win for our show and the fans out there. I hope everybody watches and rewatches. You're gonna love this. Ladies and gentlemen, big hand for Look What I Did. Thank you guys.
Thank you all very much.
We'll see you next time on Working Metal.